Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Keep It Down podcast. As always, I'm your host, Garrett, joined by my two malevolent co hosts, TC and Schmack. TC, how you living, baby?
Dude, I'm doing good. It's an exciting time of year right now. We got NBA finals going on, NHL finals going on. Um, Football just got into OTA, so I'm excited, man. We got a loaded slate for you guys today.
Schmack, baby, how we doing?
Good. It's good to be back talking to you boys again. Got some fun stuff on the docket for this episode, so I'm excited to get into it.
As always, you can find us on Instagram at Keep It Down Pod. In our bio, you'll find our link tree, and that'll take you wherever you want to go to check us out, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Twitter, anything like that. So be sure to go check that out. Hit some love on YouTube and all that stuff. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. We're keeping a close eye on socials, so if you have any ideas for us, you can DM, drop it in comments, do whatever. We're on top of it, okay?
Yep.
Speaking of being on top of it, boys, the Denver Nuggets just seem like the team to beat in the NBA
Yeah.
Finals. I want to get you guys' thoughts. Let's talk about the ins, outs, the intricacies of this Nuggets team and what makes them so dangerous.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. I think the last pod, Nuggets were up 2-0 on the Lakers, and we were talking about, they're going to LA. Don't know how that series is going to play out. Well, they answered all those questions pretty quickly. They closed out the Lakers at home, swept them. Um, Pretty dominant performance. Obviously, the thing that makes them tick is going to be Jokic. Just an absolute animal and a great passer too. I think an underrated passer. Obviously a dominating presence on the inside, but his passing is what makes him special.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting series, man. Kind of just judging. Um, I think it's refreshing to have kind of some newer faces in here right now. I mean, I know that the Heat are, yeah, I mean the Heat, no stranger to the NBA Finals, but it's good to have them back in it. And obviously Denver, it's been a while since we've seen them in a Finals appearance, so it's good to see two teams with a really strong fan base. And I think Denver taking game one at home. I think it's going to be a battle of the home games. I think it's going to be one of those series. So I'm really interested to see how game two goes.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty crazy, man. And on the last pod, we were kind of talking about it a little bit, but the Heat are an 8 seed. Like, this is a
Right?
crazy run that they're in.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be impressing people like that. I think it might have been because they were just in the finals 2 years ago. But
Yeah.
man, they're still an 8 seed. For them to end up in the NBA finals is a huge accomplishment in itself.
Right. And I mean, especially after the almost throwing that 3-0 lead away. I mean, they went to a game seven versus the Celtics, and I mean, they thought everyone kind of thought they had an easy cakewalk, and they ended up having to really, put up or shut up at the end of that series. So, yeah, I mean, an 8 seed is crazy for them, but I mean, it's good to see them. It's good to see them in here.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because both the Nuggets and the Heat, they kind of run through this one superstar, filled with some playmakers or shooters, if you will. It's kind of what you see in Denver. Although besides Jamal Murray, man, it's just on playing on a different level throughout the playoffs,
Yeah.
dude. Like he's
Right.
dropping, I think he's averaging over 23 or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's making a lot of baskets. That 1-2 punch with Aaron Gordon and Jokic is working really well. It seems like that kind of what they do. They square up with the other team. The other team thinks they're going to double Jokic, and then they play heavy on the Aaron Gordon, and Jokic plays more off the top of the ball, coming off ball screens and stuff like that. And so they're just really dynamic, man. It's like they're built around one superstar, but they have so many different ways to make plays, and yet Jokic is a great passer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Everyone on the Nuggets can make a three when they're wide open. I mean, it's the NBA, so. And yeah, it kind of seems like the Heat are running out of steam. That's kind of what I'm gathering from it. Obviously, you're in Denver. We'll see what happens. See if you can steal a game and take it back to Miami. But man, they just kind of look a little tired. I think they would have liked to, get out of that last series a little sooner and get some more rest because it's a fully rested Nuggets team that they're running into. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and going to play up there at that altitude is seeming to give people issues as well. Chach, I wanted to go back to one thing you said about Joker. You know, basically everyone making the threes when he's passing it out, right? We talked about Steph Curry with the Warriors having like a gravitational pull to him, and I think Jokic has that same thing going on. Like when he has the ball down low, there's so much attention on him that he's able to create that space for Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon or whoever. Like you said, they all are knocking down their threes right now. They're a very dynamic team, as you already said. But yeah, going to the Heat subject, man, like you're up 3-0 and then to lose three straight, to have the mental toughness to pull out game seven,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, I mean they can obviously pull together a win when they need to. I think game two is pretty big. I think being able, if you're the Heat, I think being able to steal one in Denver is a big deal. I think it gives you a ton of confidence going back into Miami. Um, so yeah, I mean I don't definitely not a must win game, but I mean if you're the Heat and you just got off that long series and that short break, I mean you don't want to drop two straight to a team that's well rested. So
Yeah, I think you want to be leaving Miami, tied is probably the best case scenario.
yeah,
Worst case scenario is obviously, the finals are over when you leave Miami. But, if you're down 3-1 and you're going back to Denver, it's a tall
that's
task
rough.
right there,
Yeah.
man. So, yeah, I think if you're the Heat, you just need to focus on winning, the next one. And if not that one, then game three is pretty much the series at that point. So,
Yeah, I also agree.
Now, say Jimmy Butler does get a ring this year. He's able to pull it out. Like, how impressive is his ring? We hear people talk about KD's rings not being that impressive. Like, how impressive would a Jimmy Butler ring be this year?
Incredibly.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, nothing short of miracle is a strong word because I mean they are the Heat and they are good, but I mean I mean Jimmy Butler's a guy on that team,
hmm
Um, I mean he's been through a lot. I mean, but I mean it mean a lot. It mean a lot more than some of these other scenarios that kind of get brought up. Jimmy Butler getting a ring this year. So
yeah. What do you
yeah,
think, Chalks? Are some rings more impressive than others?
I think there's definitely, kind of a category of rings that are more impressive than others, like, um, do I think that, like when LeBron was down 3-1 to the Warriors, obviously that's a huge one.
Yeah,
But like, when the Raptors played a dilapidated Warriors team, is that impressive? Maybe not,
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, Jimmy Buckets just willing his team to a finals and then possibly winning a ring is just crazy, man. Like that's just
yeah,
monumental. And also, like I was watching the game today and I was like, dude, how is Eric Spoelstra still the coach of the Heat? Like they were so irrelevant for like so many years, like post LeBron. And so like I was just shocked because I mean that was like 2013, 2015.
hmm
And like now we're in 2023 going on 2024. Like that's just a long freaking time, man.
yeah. It's good to see though. I mean, you like to see guys like Spolstra who have done really really well, like in the organization, like not just get dumped the second things go bad. I mean, it kind of seems like they're giving him some time and they're trying to give him some tools to bring to the table. And I think it's good. I think it's good to keep coaches around and kind of let them develop. Obviously there's times when you got to make changes, but it's really good to see him still in the captain's chair.
yeah. And it's pretty unusual, right? We saw Monty
hmm
Williams get fired from the Suns, and the Suns had a decent year. Obviously, they took an
Yeah.
early exit, but like that was a good team this year. I
hmm
believe the only coach with more tenure than Eric Spoelstra is going to be Greg Popovich, and then I
Yeah.
think Steve Kerr would be behind them. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are very successful organizations, and it's uncommon in the NBA to see that much stability.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so interesting, man. Because like coaching in any pro, college, whatever it is, just feels like a revolving door at times of just movement, and he's going here and there, and assistants, and just the whole thing, and it's just so crazy. So like to see someone actually pack it up for 8, 10 seasons in a row, and have some rough ones in there, and
Yeah.
also and still be the bench boss is just crazy, man. But boys, the NHL Stanley Cup final, okay. What are we thinking? We got the 8 seed Heat in the finals. We got the no, the second wild card team in the Panthers. They're in the finals.
Yeah.
Just it's it seems like it's a Cinderella kind of year, boys. What are our thoughts on the NHL?
Yeah, man, it's kind of funny because I don't think a lot of people knew that the Florida Panthers were an NHL hockey team
Right.
before this run that they're on. Like when
Yeah.
you're talking to someone that doesn't really watch hockey, you're like, oh yeah, it's Florida and Vegas. They're like Tampa
Yeah.
Bay. You're like, no, 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 no. There's another team. So I think it's definitely putting them on the map. Yeah, impressive run that the Golden Knights are on. I mean, I think they're in it for the second time in 6 seasons or something like that. So,
hmm
yeah, pretty impressive by both parties.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think both teams are pretty similar. They're both pretty tough. I think both have good goaltenders. I mean, Bobrovsky for Florida is. I mean, that guy's a freaking madman, and I think it's going to be a great series. I'm really interested to see how Vegas handles that guy, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think this is the out of all the matchups that we could have had. I think this one is really intriguing to me. I think this is more intriguing than let's say Carolina and Dallas would have been. So
Yeah, dude, I saw like a crazy stat towards the end of the Florida and can't remember who they played off the top of my head. The Hurricanes. Towards the
Hurricanes,
end of
yeah.
that series, dude, and Bobrovsky saved like 103 out of 105 shots in like over
yeah.
3 games.
Wow.
And so, I mean, that's pretty tough to stop, when you're the other team, but, Vegas is kind of a fast, flashy kind of team, get the pucks in, start forechecking, doing all that stuff, be annoying. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. Personally, I'm rooting for Florida, as I think most of the United States is, but I
Yeah.
mean, you never know. So, I'd like to see Florida take
Ch-
her home.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the Florida bandwagon with you. Chach, we've seen a couple of these expansion teams have a lot of success early on. For like the casual listener at home, like what do you think makes these expansion teams relevant right away?
Yeah, I mean the expansion draft in itself, so for everyone that doesn't know, basically every team can lock up a certain number of people on their team.
Yeah,
So like say it's the Chiefs and there's an NFL expansion draft. They're going to protect Mahomes, they're going to protect Kelsey, they're going to protect,
Chris
assets of that
Jones.
caliber.
Yeah,
And so, but you only get a certain amount. So say it's four, like for the example. And then, so guess what? You got your four dudes that you can protect, and anyone else they can select, and they
yeah,
get one pick from every single team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it is impressive. It's a bunch of dudes that, maybe have never played together or played very small amounts together, new coach, new town, and all that good stuff. But at the same time, you get handpicked 32 NHL ready players right off the rip, like,
hmm
and so it's a little jaded. People think it's so impressive, which it is. I mean, only one team wins a Stanley Cup every year, so even to get runner up is impressive in itself. But I don't think
hmm
it carries as much weight as people think. So
definitely. And that's pretty crazy because I mean, in hockey, you have what, four lines that play pretty regularly.
hmm
So you protect four guys, you can still grab basically a starter from every team.
exactly.
Like crazy. But yeah, we've seen those expansion teams have a lot of success early, and yeah, I think that's exactly why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boys, do we have a actual homework segment cooked up this week, boys?
Mm-hmm.
It's a banger. Okay. Um, was this TC's doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just let you take it from here. Okay, why don't you tell the people what we're getting into?
Yeah, so we love giving rankings on this show. Okay, so it's usually sports related, but today I wanted to dip into the world of media, boys. I wanted to talk about your top five TV shows of all time. And this can be from any category. This can be a drama, a comedy, whatever you guys like to watch. And just remember, this is your list. So it doesn't matter what anyone else has on their list. Um, but boys, when I just started making my list, I just started writing down any show that came to mind. So I have a bunch of honorable mentions as well.
hmm
So I didn't know if you boys maybe want to throw out some honorable mentions before we get into the meat and potatoes of your top five. Um, if you do, go ahead.
hmm
Um, okay, I got an honorable mention. Trailer
Hmm.
Park Boys.
Hmm. A
So
classic.
underrated, like a great show to just, throw on when you're not really watching, you're just kind of hanging out and kind of on your phone, kind of watching TV. Great show to put on. It's funny, it's got all the good stuff. So that's one of
Yeah,
my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I think if we're just gonna do one honorable mention starting out, and then we'll talk about the rest at the end.
I have a
My
bunch of honorable mentions, so remember that.
Okay, my honorable mention that I have is Stranger Things.
Okay.
And I know it's kind of surprising that it's not on my list because I mean I do really like that show. There's just kind of a couple of seasons, maybe like a season that kind of lost me a little bit, and um, but Stranger Things is my honorable mention. The first season's gold. If it was just one season, it'd be on there for sure. But yeah,
Definitely. And this list is going to get interesting because, I mean, we all grew up together. So I feel like some of these shows on our top five have to be the same, right? But that's
Hmm.
the
yeah,
interesting part, I think. All right, boys, stop me if I have a bad honorable mention. I have Friends, Breaking Bad, Succession, Vikings, Yellowstone, Game of Thrones, especially now with the House of Dragon spinoff,
sure.
Impractical Jokers, and Prison Break.
Oh, shoot.
Dang it.
Is there any
Oh,
bad honorable mentions on that list?
okay. I got to make a quick change real quick. Dang it.
Did I
No, I
say any that might be on your boys' list?
Oh, you
yeah,
said a couple
yeah.
on. You said a lot on my list.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Okay,
All right,
let's do the list before we say another word.
what?
Let's do our list before we say another word, just so anyone
Okay,
else
okay.
doesn't get freaking ruined, and then we'll go through the honorable mentions at the end.
All right,
I
I guess
had
we'll just go round robin and just say everyone's number five.
Yeah.
okay.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
My number five is gonna be Criminal Minds.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah,
That's an
So,
interesting one.
good show. It's a little dark, for
sure.
Mhm.
it's. But what I appreciate about it is, no matter what season, what time period, you can watch an
Yep.
episode and understand
And
like
understand
understand the
it.
full
Yeah.
concept. There's no like loopholes. There's no secrets. Like there are some secrets, but there's no punches pulled. Everything is understandable, no matter what part of the season you're on. Great show, goaded. Got a little bit of everything. So from my number five, we're going Criminal Minds.
Yeah, and also like a great background show. You know what I mean? I think it's for the reason you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. Like, you don't have to know the previous plot to understand what's going on in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay, so I had to sum one out on my top five. So my fifth was going to be Parks and Rec.
Okay. Mm.
Okay, it is now Prison Break. Okay, I forgot about Prison
Boo.
Break, but I remember TC when you were gone in South Dakota and you left your truck here, and I think my there was something going on with my car, but I was driving the Dakota to
Hmm.
my job at Save Mart every day, and on my lunch break, dude, I would watch Prison Break, and my cell phone at the time had like a limited data plan, and the cell phone bill that I would rack up from watching those hour long episodes of Prison Break on my lunch, and I just couldn't stop. I was literally so addicted to the show, I could not stop watching Prison Break on my lunches. So number five for me is Prison Break,
Dude, Prison Break is a super addicting show. I
and
remember when I was
and
watching it.
you put me onto that too.
Yeah, when I was watching it, maybe a little bit of foreshadowing here, but I was with my roommate Daniel Ziegler in college, and so like we'd be watching it in the dorm, and then dude, it'd
Mm-hmm.
be late. We had class the next day, and we'd just be like, "What do you think? One more or
You
what?"
can't
And we would
stop.
just
You
do
just
like
can't
one
stop.
more always, just keep going. But yeah, dude,
Mm-hmm.
and then when he's got the map of the prison on his back,
Oh, it's
so
so good.
legendary,
It's so good, dude.
legendary.
All right,
Okay,
TC, what's your five?
now my list, I gotta look at everything, but my number five is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Um,
It's a great pick.
You guys know that I
Good
love
one.
that show. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I guess maybe a little bit quirky, like and kind of weird for some people, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a super solid pick for number five.
It's a good
Yeah,
pick.
absolutely. All right. My number four, I've Yellowstone.
Okay, yeah,
Great show. I don't. It's a little up in the air. Everyone's seen all the news. I'm sure everyone's watching it currently, and so who knows if it's going to be back. It has really cool vibes, man. Like it's no one's ever done it before, really. It's like Sons of Anarchy meets like the Hatfields and McCoys kind of thing. It's like a really
yeah,
unique blend of both those things, which are, both kind of interesting to me personally. And so, it's kind of the political side of things and all that stuff, law enforcement. So, yeah, Yellowstone's my number four.
Yeah, I love Yellowstone. I think it might have made it on my list, but I have a little bit of like recency bias. I didn't
Mm,
love like the first part of the fifth season, which is like the most recent one. But
Yeah.
before that, I was so invested in the show, man, like heavy invested.
all right. My number four,
What you
Jackass.
got? Wow,
Oh, that's a great pick.
that's a great pick.
I mean, I haven't watched that show in forever, but I just think back to when we were kids, and I mean, when we were freaking loading each other up in the freaking radio flyer wagon and dumping each other out in the front yard. Like, I mean, that show just, or building BMX jumps and singing that stupid CKY song when we were building jumps, literally just because it was the song of the show. But so many memories watching that show. So number four for me.
Dude, the amount of tomfoolery generated by watching that show and those
Mm-hmm.
movies, and then like also Wild Boys with Steve-O. I mean, I
Yep.
don't think any of us really did nothing crazy with animals or nothing, but dude,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
inspiration for a lot of tomfoolery.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, boys. My number four is gonna be The Sopranos.
Hmm.
Um,
Really.
I'm a big HBO guy. Like, I like some like drama, some thrillers, like some stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, Sopranos has it all, man. Like they're gangsters. It's I love it. There's comedy in it. I don't know. I just after watching that show, I was like, dude, maybe I should just join the Italian mob.
I think you should.
I was really
It's-
that inspired by it.
All right, Josh, number three.
All right, my number three show is Sons of Anarchy.
Okay,
You know,
it's a great pick.
super long series, like it's like 10 seasons or something. So incredible amount of episodes. Get some bonus points for already being out. So you can watch the whole thing through at your own pace. You ain't got to wait for airings or anything like that. So that's going up. Great storyline, great plot, great characters. A lot of debut characters. Kind of turned them into A-listers, kind of thing. So yeah, Sons of Anarchy is my number three, boys.
My number three,
Yeah,
I got. Oh, just go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, D. Sorry.
no, Chacha, I was gonna ask you, like, with a long series like that you get super invested in, do you start like being like, oh, if like my family's in this show, like Schmog would be this guy and I would be
Mm-hmm.
that guy, or like you start
Mm-hmm.
like assigning people roles out of your actual life?
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like when we watched Yellowstone, we did it. When we watched Sons of Anarchy, we did it. But Danae and I were talking the other day, like we were talking about, what life was like before we had kids, and we were like, dude, like we just go to work, come home, eat dinner, and watch Sons of Anarchy till like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
just straight through and like not do anything else. We're like, gosh, dude, what a time.
All right, Schmog, what's your number three?
My number three is ridiculousness.
Dang.
Wow, I didn't know that
Yeah,
was making an appearance on this list.
yeah. I mean, obviously, we were. I mean, growing up together. I mean, we've probably watched. I can't even tell you how many hours of that show. Obviously, big Fantasy Factory fans, and there was just I don't know ridiculousness. There was never like we just didn't really see a platform like that before. We're like, I mean, you saw like America's Funniest Home Videos, I guess, but like with a personality like Rob Dyrdek, like and like all the guests and stuff, man. And like I came across the episode with like Mac Miller in it the other day, which is kind of crazy to look back on. But just like all the relevant people that he brought in, and it just seemed like a lot of fun. And I love watching it. So it's my number three.
Yeah, dude, it kind of has like podcast vibes, but it's not a
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
podcast. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like a bunch of the same dudes and one guest who just like chop it up. And like, that's the
Yep.
part you love of it. It's not the
yeah,
actual
Yeah.
clips, it's the dialogue that you fall in
yeah.
love with.
I think
And
back like
like,
shows like that will always be like popular, and if something like that like came out today, I think it would still do well.
dude, Rob
Definitely.
Dyrdek was on Logan Paul's podcast and he was, quick side note on Rob Dyrdek, dude, that guy is a fucking robot.
Yeah.
Like his whole life is like spreadsheets and charts and like ways to optimize, and like he films a certain number of hours of ridiculousness like a week or something, and so they
Mm-hmm.
produce like 300 and something episodes a year, and like he wears clothes from like the same time period that the show was started, so like no matter what time period you're watching, it always feels like you're watching the first episode and all this crazy
Right.
stuff, dude. Like the guy's an actual robot.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, a lot of those guys like that are Kevin Hart, The Rock, like, and those are the
Mm-hmm.
guys that you see
Wahlberg.
have massive. Yeah, like
Yeah, Wahlberg.
uh, Wahlberg, exactly. And those are the guys you see have massive success. I mean, I
Hmm.
think ridiculousness is like over 70% of MTV's programming for the day. Like
Hmm.
that is ridiculous. How many
Yeah.
episodes per day you're airing? That show is just still going strong, man. Um, all right, boys. My number three, and I think this might make an appearance later on in other people's list. It's gonna be The Office.
Mm.
Yeah. Watched it when I was in high school. I can recite to you pretty much any line that you need. Like, dude, I watched it probably 7 times through. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
just one of the funniest shows that was ever created. Love The Office.
Yeah,
Like that
I mean,
pick. I like that pick a lot.
I know you do.
okay. For my number two pick, boys, there's gonna be a little shocker. We're going with Survivor.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay, again, countless seasons. I think they're like on 43 or something, dude.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
like, there's a time period where my wife Danae was doing school and work, so she was gone for most of the day. So I'd go to work, come home, I'd go to Ty's house, and we'd watch Survivor for
Hmm.
approximately 4 to 5 hours while Danae was at school at nighttime. And so like we'd watch whole seasons, dude, in like a number of like 2 weeks. So yeah, great show. The storylines and the drama. I like I never was a Survivor kid until I was like an adult, and I was like, dude, this is lit. So
Dude,
yeah,
I was grinding 3 seasons of Survivor at the same time. I had one that I was watching with Chach, one that I was watching with Harper, and then one I would just watch when everyone left. Like, I was literally watching 3 seasons simultaneously at the same time, dude. It was out of hand. I can't believe I forgot Survivor for at least my honorable mentions.
yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, my number two, Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I didn't even think about the freaking
Hmm.
Food Network,
My boy,
dude.
Mr. Guy Fieri, dude. I will never ever get tired of that show. I'll watch reruns of that show for forever. It, I just any time of the day, dude. It doesn't matter if it's 9 o'clock in the morning. You can watch it. If it's freaking midnight, you can watch it. Doesn't matter.
There's one
Anytime.
time you cannot watch it though.
When you're
If
hungry.
when you're hungry, dude. That show will put you over
Oh,
the top, dude.
Still do it. Don't even care. I love that
but
show
like
so much.
tell me this, Shmug, like you're like actually sitting down and watching it, like you're
Like
paying
that.
attention to like every detail about it.
I mean, like if it's like one I've seen before, obviously, like it's just kind of background noise at that point. Um, I know what you mean though. Like it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not the most like captivating show. I mean, because it's like the same formula, right? The intro's way too loud, and he says that this time, and it's like the same thing. But for
Way
some
too
reason,
loud.
man, I just can't look away.
That is a great show, but I am pretty stunned that it's on your top five, Shmug. That's nuts. But hey, hats off to you, man.
It's got to be.
Um, all right, boys. My number two is gonna be Sons of Anarchy. Um, just like I was telling you about Chachas, got super
Hmm.
invested. Everyone in my actual life had a character assigned to them. Um, yeah,
Who?
kind of the same situation.
Just real quick, give us a quick synopsis of who's who for any.
All right, so sometimes I would see myself as like Jack Teller, obviously main character,
Right.
but also sometimes I see myself as like Tig. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but like he's just way too out there. But obviously, it's a fake TV show. But sometimes I see myself as that. I always thought Schmog would be like Opie.
Yeah. Schmuck's got big
Yeah,
Opie vibes.
yeah. Chalk, you were a little bit harder. Because I didn't feel like any of the characters really fit you all that well. Because like almost
I'm
like
one
a
of one.
Bobby,
He needs his own
Bobby.
show.
I thought you had like a Bobby type vibe, but Bobby's so old that I can never like see you as him.
True.
Bobby
Yeah,
from King of the Hill.
Damn it,
people at home
Bobby.
who've never seen Sons of Anarchy are like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Chachi, what about you? You watched the series as well. Who would you think is who?
Yeah, Schmuck's got big Opie vibes. Just the biggest Opie vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it's hard because like no one fits perfectly because like I mean,
Yeah.
just the nature of the show, everyone's kind of a piece of shit in the show, so it's kind of hard to like relate it one to one of like
Yeah.
people that you're close with. I just felt like Ty was kind of Why can't I think of his name? The freaking
Describe him.
Sergeant at Arms guy.
Oh, yeah, his stepdad.
No, 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 no,
Um,
no, no. The gosh, why can't I think of his name? The dude
the
with the
Irish
scar.
dude.
Yeah, the Irish dude.
Chibs.
Jibs. Yeah, because
Chips.
Ty's
Yeah.
like the enforcer of the group. Schmag was always OP, obviously, and
Hmm.
then obviously you slot yourself into the main character role, but I
You
mean,
have to.
it's not exactly apples for apples. So
Mm. Yeah,
All right,
mind you, I
boys.
mean, I've never seen the show, so I'm hoping that Opie is a good deal for me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're a great character. I'll give you that much.
hmm
he probably
great
dies
guy.
super quick.
He does.
Hmm.
Anyways,
All right, boys.
where are we?
We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Hmm.
Okay. This is the number one slot for each of us, and this is going to be interesting. So, Chach, I don't want you to jump right into it. What you got at number one?
Ooh, baby. Okay, for my number one pick,
Mhm.
we're going with White Collar.
Wow.
I felt like that's where you would go.
Again, I don't know why, but just my nature, I'm super into like crime police kind of shows. That's kind of my realm.
Hmm.
I'm not a huge comedy guy. Everyone knows how I feel about The Office and such. So yeah, I stick to a lot more crime and drama and suspense and thrillers kind of stuff. So yeah, White Collar, great series. If you haven't watched it, it's a banger. Lots of folds in and outs. They did drag it out a little bit, I will say, but
Mm.
um, yeah, overall, I think it's just the most polished product. And again, it's one of those series where you don't exactly have to know what's going on 24/7, but there are little intricate little details that kind of run through the whole thing. So that's why I'm going with White Collar for number one.
Yeah, Chach, that was a real sleeper pick. Uh, dude, those first couple of seasons of White Collar were so good. So heavily slept on, dude. That's a great show.
Well, I guess it's my turn.
All right, what you got?
This should come as no surprise. The Office is my number
Yep.
one.
Hmm.
I mean, I we can't stop watching it. I mean, it's like we finish it and then it's like, do we just start it again? I mean, it's like 9 seasons and it's like a bazillion episodes. So, um, yeah, Hannah and I watch it all the time, and I think we're currently on like our like sixth or seventh time watching it through, and it's weird because you like every season, it's kind of like you kind of start to follow different people's stories through the show, like, and you really kind of like hone in and like pay attention to like what that person has going on instead of like the show as a whole. Um, so yeah, The Office is my number one.
Shemai, what about in The Office? Are we any of the characters in The Office?
Ooh, TC, you're like Michael for sure, dude.
Okay.
You, you are, and Chach, you're really dry. So I mean, you're kind of like Dwight, just not as freaking Dwighty sometimes. But
Is my
you're
middle part?
it also the middle part has something to do with that for sure. Um, yeah, like you're like a mix of like Stanley and Dwight. It's good, but TC, you're for
Yeah,
sure like Michael.
definitely. Boys, I got the sleeper of all sleepers because I didn't hear you guys mention this show at all. And this is kind of like a different style show, but you guys are gonna be so mad you didn't think about this one. Okay. My number one show is Hard Knocks.
Whoa,
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like a
boys.
fucking docu
uh,
series.
Yeah, I mean, it comes out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a docu-series, I guess, so a little bit different. But yeah, man, Hard Knocks is definitely number one for
That's
obvious
a fucking
reasons.
great pick.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
excellent pick. Yeah.
I mean, you just get these moments, man, like that you would never get access to any other way. Like the DeAndre
Mm-hmm.
Hopkins against the Redskins practice moment, like insane. You know what I mean? The whole
Mm-hmm.
season with the Jets and the Darrell Revis stuff going on. That
Yeah.
I believe the first season was like with Baltimore, and they have like Ed
Yeah.
Reed and Ray Lewis. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's where the
Shannon
whole like
Sharp.
the Shannon Sharp impersonation comes from. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Hard Knocks, even though it's a docu series, has got to be my number one
That's a beautiful
For sure.
pick. That is
That's a
a
great pick.
beautiful pick. Yeah.
I got
Um,
absolutely fleeced.
yeah, I do have a couple honorable mentions since we're on the subject. I'm going to go Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. That's a great
Okay.
show. I'm
It's a
going to
great
go
pick.
Family Guy. Family Guy is definitely on that list. Um, TC, you know all about this one. Do you remember MXC from back in the day?
Of course. Of
Uh-huh.
course. Explain to the people at home, Schmag.
So it was kind of like I don't think it would do very well in today's climate on TV. It was kind of like
I
it was like I don't.
It was
I
like
also
a
don't.
wipeout. It was like a
It was
wipeout style show.
it was like
It
Wipeout
was like originally, I believe, maybe from
A-
Japan, or they
Yeah, it's
acted like it was
Chinese
Asia,
from
or
Japan,
Japanese or something.
Asia. We're
and it was
blanketing
like
here.
dubbed over
Yeah,
into American, and it
and
definitely
it
wasn't
was
what they were saying.
so very inappropriate and bad and stereotypical. But it was like Wipeout before we had Wipeout.
Yeah, it was
Um,
like what Bob Minery does, but before Bob
mhm.
Minery did it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you've ever seen any of his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go on YouTube, I'm sure there's still episodes on there, but that show was hilarious as well.
Yeah, I think a couple other honorable mentions I want to throw out there were 90 Day Fiance.
Mm,
That's a great one. If you ever just want to feel like really good about where you're at in life, just watch that show and you're like, all right, I'm doing pretty good actually.
we're actually fine.
Um, yeah. And also the challenge on MTV, like
Yep.
especially back in the day, dude, like
Yep.
I wanted to be on that show so bad. I get to do all the extreme stunts and the
So good.
drama. Just loved it. Actually, Harper and
Yeah.
I still watch it today.
That's a great pick too. The
I've got
Gauntlet, the
a
challenge.
couple honorable mentions. First, Jersey Shore,
Hmm.
ahead of
Yeah.
its time, great show. You know,
Yep.
you go. It's another one of those where you could watch any episode and understand what's going on the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, there's the two seasons that just completely suck front to back, side to side, and I mean it just is what it is. But all the rest of them are great. Also honorable mention, Ink Master,
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
That's a good one too.
and then kind of in the same realm. I don't know if you guys remember that show Face Off
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
about the special
yes,
effects artists.
dude.
dude. Yes. On
And like
sci-fi.
so yeah, for everyone listening, like it was like all these up and coming like special effects artists, and so like they would make these like movie posters for like scary movies, or like
Mhm.
recreate famous scenes like with all these like plasters and silicone and all this stuff, and like
That's a
that's put
great
it on like a
freaking
real
show.
live human. It kind of like takes Ink Master and like that kind of same thing, but great show.
Dude, I'm literally writing Face Off in my notes right now because I'm gonna go back and watch an episode of
Such a
that.
good
That
show.
just
Yeah.
jogged the deepest depths of my memory,
Yeah.
Chuck.
Excellent work. TC, I know me and you mess with this one a lot. What was it? History's Deadliest Warriors. Is that what it was called?
Yeah. It's like Deadliest Warrior?
It's
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
I think it was Deadliest Warrior, where they take like the different like warriors from each like region or each country around the world, and they have them like they test all the weapons and they do like a simulation of like who would like win in like a fight. That was a really really good show too. Also made me so scared about weapons that existed back in the day. That was
yeah,
crazy. I'm
it's
so glad I didn't
Deadliest
have to get
Warrior.
stabbed by all that stuff.
Dude, yeah, like they would do the weapons testing segment, and like
Mm-hmm.
they would have an exact replica of what the weapon would have been like, and they just like
So
stab the
good.
dummy like 47 times in the gut. You're
Yeah.
like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that was lit, dude. It'd be like an Aztec warrior versus a Spartan. And you're like, who would win?
Yikes.
Yeah, like in the like for like some of the like Native American tribes and stuff, they'd have like a member come and like I remember the dude who would
Mm-hmm.
like spit poison and all kinds of weird stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
Hmm.
dude, like just and some of it got a little weird, like when the like just some of the fights, like weird stuff would happen, which is obviously it's like it's made up, it's fake, it's meant to be entertaining, but
Yeah.
yeah, Deadliest Warrior, dude, what a show.
Dude, any particular episodes that stood out? Because I remember the Green Beret versus the KGB episode.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, and the KGB guys like rolling on the ground, like doing little somersaults and shooting.
Mm-hmm. That
So
was a good
sick.
one. The one that sticks out at me is I think it's the Maori episode, and they have like the stick, and it's got like the three like prongs on the end, but they're made out
Hmm.
of like it's like what is it like a stingray like barb, and
Oh,
so
okay.
like when it like sticks in, and then like when you pull it out, it like gets stuck in. And I remember like when they like went up to like the ballistics dummy, and he was like stabbing it, it's like shredding it up, and then like they all got stuck in it, and like that was scary.
Definitely.
um God, I had one that I forgot it completely, but I was also gonna say Fear Factor. Whether it's the
Mm-hmm.
old ones with Joe Rogan or the new
Yeah.
ones with Ludacris, both were good.
Yeah. I don't. I think we should save childhood shows for a different episode because one
Okay.
just came to my head just barely right now that I was about to say, but I think we can have a separate discussion on childhood shows because that's a
Yeah,
whole
that's
nother
what we
can of
should
worms.
do. We should
Yeah.
try to like jog each other's depths of the memory, like just the most odd
Mhm.
in shows we used to watch back in the day or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hold on to mine. I'm gonna keep it right there. That's where it is. Man.
Gosh, Ty's always just coming up with heaters, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great one.
Boys, while we're on the topic of hypotheticals,
Yeah.
I want to know. I've got one question. If you were in the MLB, what would your walk-up song be?
Mm.
Ooh, this is a great question, Chach. Um, it's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I have it narrowed down to like 5.
I got three. Okay.
I've got two.
Mm.
Um, now, are we talking about like this is your walk-up song for the rest of your life, or is this just like a 1 year kind of deal?
Yeah, like
One
1 year
year.
kind of deal.
1 year.
All right. Well, so the first one I got was I love it when you call me Big Papa, and that's just for G baby.
Hey, shouts out G baby. RIP G baby.
Ooh.
Yeah, honor our fallen soldier, G baby.
Yeah.
Fallen Soldier.
Respect.
Yeah. Shemai, you want to tell the people at home about G baby?
If you haven't seen it, movie's called Hardball. You need to go watch
Keanu
it.
Reeves. Yeah, Keanu
Keanu
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves in that movie. Hey, Michael B. Jordan is in that movie. Put some respect on him. But I mean, before he was who he is now, he was that guy. It's a great movie. It's about baseball. It's really good. Go watch it and prepare yourself. That's what I'm going to say. If I didn't
Act
give it away
accordingly.
already, act accordingly.
I freaking hate that dude. Uh,
um,
yeah, Shmag, go ahead. You have a lot, so you need to pepper him in here, Shmag.
I do have a lot, but I think. Sorry.
Yeah, if any of us were music guys, I'd say be Shmag.
Sorry. I think if like I'm gonna pick one, I think I'm going. I think I'm going "Sad but True" by Metallica,
Ooh, that's a
which
great
isn't
one.
which isn't the Metallica song that I think a lot of people would pick, but that's the one I'm picking. It's got a great intro, and mind you, this just has to have like a part or like the intro of the song has to be good. Like you're about to walk up to the plate, you know what I mean? So "Sad but True" is I think what I would land on.
Yeah, I kind of picked one with the same kind of thing, but I picked "Hail to the King" by Avenged Sevenfold.
God, it's on my list. It's on my list.
Oh
That's a great one.
baby,
That's on
that
my
little
list.
the little pulsing with the kick drum and all that, like that would
Mm-hmm.
just go so hard. Yeah, so that was one of my two picks.
No, that's a good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so if it was like just for 1 year, I'll probably go with Superhero, Metro Boomin, and Future, just
Mm.
the song that gets me the most hype right now. But dude, this one is kind of a sleeper, and it's actually Chris Weidman inspired, okay? It's I Won't
Mm.
Back Down, Tom Petty.
Yeah,
I remember when he's going to fight Anderson Silva and he walked out to that song, bro. It was like goosebumps. So
that was
I
for
wanted to
America.
recreate that same feeling, you know?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Hmm.
Yeah. I also have "Sail" by AWOL Nation.
Ooh,
Mm,
another great one.
Mm-hmm.
shout out
That
eighth
one's on
grade
my list.
basketball, baby.
Yeah.
My other one, purely for the memes. I went with classic "Pickup Man" by Joe Diffie.
R.I.P. Joe Diffie.
Like, tell me that wouldn't just be for me as a person. Tell me that wouldn't accurately represent myself to the crowd.
An absolutely classic song as well, man.
Yeah, like just nothing better.
Yeah. One. This was already taken, so I'm gathering inspiration because I saw it done before. But Hannah and I went to an Angels game back when we lived down in Orange County, and somebody came out to "Plug Walk" by Rich the Kid,
Ooh,
and that
yeah.
went so unbelievably hard.
Play Walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one went dumb. And I was like, okay, so I can't take that one because I've seen it done and it does go hard. But I mean, if I give it enough time, like maybe I can do it, and then nobody will like remember, kind of thing, you know?
Definitely. I also would consider right above it Lil Wayne and Drake, just the
Mm-hmm.
classic beat.
Yeah.
Really any part of that song you could play, but obviously the hook is just crazy.
Yeah.
Um, the last one on my list is "God's Gonna Cut You Down" by Johnny Cash.
Classic.
That's a great one.
Mm.
Yeah, an underrated workout song too, dude. Sometimes we bumping that at the gym. Like it's got a crazy beat to it. Yeah.
That's a great one. Yeah. So I think that, I mean, I'm sure I could do this all day. I'll just have to go through Spotify. I think like weekly we should give like our MOB walk up
Synopsis.
song of the week.
It'd actually be pretty fun, man. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, but I think that's my list. So just waiting to get signed now.
Waiting on it.
Okay, guys. Since we're on the topic of MLB stadiums and all that
Yeah.
jazz, I got a quick little game. So we're gonna do, and this can kind of evolve too, because you guys are probably gonna bring some stuff to the table. We're gonna do a stadium food tier list.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking baseball stadiums, we're talking football stadiums, hockey rinks. So anyway, basically, I'm just gonna tell you something, and I want you guys to weigh in. So we're gonna go S tier. S tier is obviously the best, right? Then
Yep.
we're gonna go A, B, C, and F. Okay,
Okay.
C would be mid, B would be take it or leave it, A tier would be like it's more of your favorite thing.
Okay, while we're talking about this, at the end of this segment, I want to hear your best loadout for. So you let's say hypothetically you're at a hockey game
Sure.
Mhm.
and you can get up one time and get your
Ooh.
whole thing for the whole game. I want your ideal loadout for what you're getting from the snack bar when you come back. So
Yeah,
just
it'd
think
be
about
like
that as we're marinating through it.
Okay.
when ESPN would like post a graphic and it would be like you got $15 to build your team or whatever, and so like
Yeah.
Exactly.
the S tier is like $5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So first one off, we're gonna go with the classic hot dogs. Where does hot
Oh,
dogs rate on your guys' list?
It's got to be S tier, man. I mean, it's the classic. It's the tried and true. Many iterations, whether it be the Dodger dog or the Chicago dog, but you can find a hot dog at any ballpark, and it's a great little snack at the ballpark. So it's going S tier.
It's
dude.
true.
And a side note, I had an OG chili cheese dog from Wiener Schnitzel last week, dude. Oh my god.
You
Yeah,
still
S tier
recovering, or
for
you
sure.
good?
No, dude, guts are broken, dude.
Went down easy though.
Oh yeah,
Always do.
slurpable.
Okay, so in that same vein, corn dogs. I think corn dogs for me are slightly lower. I think corn dogs are in that like B tier. I know it's basically like the same thing as a hot dog, but it's not. It's not like the real thing. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's not a Dodger dog.
while we're talking about corn dogs, I have a great corn dog story.
Mhm.
So Ty and I are at a Oakland A's game. They're playing the Yankees.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
This is like probably I don't know, circa 2015 or something like that, maybe a little earlier. And this guy just appears with foot long corn dogs. Okay, on the little cart, he's walking around the stadium. So I obviously hone into the guy with the corn dogs. He has like two left. He sells them, dude. They're gone by the time he gets to us. So I was like, dude, no way. So I had an absolute hankering for a corn dog. Long story short, I forced Ty to go with me to find a corn dog. So I'm like 13 at the time. Can't exactly handle these things on my own.
No.
No.
So we go to find these foot long corn dogs. We like trek all around the stadium. And long story short, we missed Jonas Cespedes. Hit an absolute piss missile of a nuke, dude. Like a
Yeah.
500-foot home run because we were searching for these foot long corn dogs, dude, just meandering around the concourse.
Hey, but how good was that corn dog when we got it though?
Oh my gosh, changed my life. It was like two hot dogs put together, dude. Like,
They were massive, dude. All right, Schmag, back to your question. A corn dog is A tier for me. Okay.
Okay.
I love a corn dog as a snack, but it's not the number one choice at the ballpark. You know what I'm
It's true.
saying? So it's
It's
going
true.
A tier.
yeah, if it were my pick, my personal list, I would put corn dogs above hot dogs. But I think
Hmm.
general consensus, everyone likes hot dogs more. Like, if we're just talking a plain hot dog versus a plain corn dog,
Right.
obviously a
Sure.
souped up hot dog, whether you get into the Dodger dog, Chicago dog, anything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. is obviously superior. But so yeah, I think A tier is the right spot for a corn dog, personally.
Okay. What about burgers? What are you guys' thoughts on burgers at a stadium?
Mm, I'm
Because
going
that
C. I think
for me
C.
that's in C.
Yeah, it's got to be C.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's just like it's not the snack you go for at the ballpark.
it's
Again,
true.
No,
like, and this list is getting weird because again, this is like backwards from almost my personal preference because it'd go like
Yeah.
burger, corn dog, hot dog at this point.
Hmm.
yeah, if we're
But at
talking
the
backyard
ballpark,
barbecue, flip it.
yeah, yeah, and so like it's just at the ballpark you got to go for the dog above the burger.
It's
Correct.
true. What about nachos? Where do nachos sit on your guys' list? Because those are a little
S.
more, those are a little more snacky.
F,
Easily S.
F.
Whoa.
Oh, let's go. Yeah,
Whoa.
this is what I wanted. Let's go.
F,
Let's
bro.
go. Let's
There's
talk.
no way around it. Like, okay, so there's two options for nachos when you go to the ballpark. There's like the cheese and tortilla chip option, which is like still stupid expensive.
Just dip. Yep.
The other option is the one that comes in like the little mini helmet,
It's
and
in a
dude, that
bucket.
one's like $30.
True.
And like, it's really like you can probably
It's
get
true.
better nachos at like TGI Fridays if that's still a thing, or at Chili's or something. Like, it's not gonna be change your life nachos, so it's just not worth the price, especially if you get just the nacho cheese and tortilla chip version.
Chips and cheese.
Yeah, I agree. The chips and cheese version could be an F, but the if you get into the helmet with the pico and the jalapenos
Mm-hmm.
and all that joint going on, it is a little higher. I will admit the price is a little gougy, but I mean it is a concession stand, so that's
Yep.
kind of the
Yep.
point. But so yeah, I'm willing to settle with a B tier. You know,
Okay.
Ty says F. Schmag and I said S, or I don't know what did you say, S Schmag?
I'm gonna say C tier, and here's my
Oh, we're
here's
going
my
in C.
here's my reasoning behind that though, because nachos, obviously, you're eating it with your hands, right? But also, like, I feel like I've just touched so many other things. I touched like the rail or like my
Yeah.
chair or like something, and then so it's like then I got nacho fingers, right? Because you got to get into that bucket, and then I can't just like yeah, I'm going
You
through a
can't.
ton of napkins, and I can't just stick my
No.
fingers in my mouth to get the cheese off.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
no, even
It's
if your hands are clean and you can give it the super sucker, like you're
yeah.
still not going to get the cheese off of your fingers. It's just not going to
Yeah, and
happen.
like I'm not gonna sit there with a fork and like try to do that whole thing because like no ain't no way. And then like I'm gonna get like some cheese or something or a jalapeno with some cheese on it on my shirt and like that's
Yeah,
not
mhm,
that's not what we're trying to do. Delicious, but a little too messy. I want something low maintenance at the
true.
park. You
Definitely.
know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a great point.
Okay, so next on the list we're gonna go peanuts.
Mm,
I'm saying C.
I'm gonna say C for me
yeah.
too. They're good,
Well,
but like the price you pay for what you get.
yeah, I'm gonna go with like a C, I guess. Debatable if I'd go B. Peanuts are kind of like an undercover good snack, man. Like, you only eat peanuts like a couple times a year, and every time you do, you're like, damn, dude, these are good.
I should get these for the
Um,
house.
but at the same time, it's just a lot of work for like a little bit of payoff. You know what I mean?
It's true. So in that same vein, Cracker Jacks. We're going classic Cracker Jacks here.
Yeah, not super into them. I don't want to give them an F. I'm gonna stay with C. Just kind of
Yeah,
a
I think they're
mid
just
snack overall.
Yeah,
yeah. Like if you're a Cracker Jack guy, then obviously you love them. But I feel like if you're not a Cracker Jack guy, then you're never going to get them. Like, it's
yeah.
very select few people that like are like go Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, I might go B actually, just because
It's
Cracker
classic.
Jacks and
Iconic.
baseball kind of do
Yeah,
go together.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I'm gonna go B here on Cracker Jacks. Better than, in my opinion, better than the peanuts, but still, that's where they live.
Yeah, I couldn't
Um,
agree with that.
okay. So in case you guys haven't noticed, we're going into the guys that walk around with the big cooler thing in front of them. That's what section we're in now.
Oh,
So we got cotton candy is another one. You guys mess
mm.
with cotton candy at games at all or at stadium? I mean, having kids, obviously, anytime someone shows cotton candy anywhere around my kids, I'm buying it. Um, so cotton candy, like me personally, it's like a C personally, but
Yeah,
so
I agree with C. I'm sure it's a good tactic to make the kids settle down and kind of be focused on the cotton candy rather than everything else that's going on. Let you kind of lock in for those couple minutes or whatever. But yeah, C. I think C's the right spot for it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing I'm gonna go C as well. I'm never getting cotton candy for myself.
It's
You
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you snag like a little piece of it, it's fine or whatever. But I
Yeah.
would never get it for myself.
Okay. Another sweet. What about churros?
Ooh.
Ooh,
If I'm going
might
for a
go.
dessert, if I'm going for a dessert option at any sort
It's a
of
great
thing, it's
option.
always a churro. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw churro in A tiers. Churros for me, man.
Yeah, I
I'd
might
have
go
to
A
agree.
as well.
Nice and
Yep,
warm and
stupid
cinnamony.
for A.
Okay. Ice cream. Okay.
Okay,
And
wait,
so
pause.
the
If we're
good.
talking Condors, Rabobank Arena, water-based soft serve, I don't know what they do to it to make it like that, but that is the best ice cream I've ever had, and
It's true.
I don't know where to find it again. But so yeah, Rabobank ice cream is S tier. Ice cream like Dippin' Dots ice is Dippin' Dots a separate one? I don't know, but all
Yeah,
that other
yeah.
ice
We
cream,
we, we can separate them because I think I also agree with you that the Condor's soft serve ice cream is 100% in S tier for sure. Um, on the other hand, like the guys that walk around with the freezer, with the ice cream cookie little sandwiches and
hmm
all that stuff. I also think, I mean, for a good little snack, I'm gonna throw those in B tier.
I'm going
Yeah, I'm gonna go B
A
tier on
tier.
those.
I'm going A tier for both, and I might even throw the ice cream Sammy in the S tier because this
dude.
is what they're not getting, man. A baseball game, especially back in the day, was a long time.
Yeah,
Okay, and a lot of the times that we were able to go to like a baseball game was a day game. So you're there for a long time
that's
and it's
one.
hot, man. So
Yeah,
you might get your hot dog or corn dog or whatever you're gonna go with in the first couple of innings, but later on you're ready for a snack, man. And ice cream
yeah.
Sammy is the best thing to cool you down.
I like that. I like that rationale for sure.
Valid point.
Um, okay, so kind of winding down here. One that I think we are all going to agree on here, but soft pretzel with cheese. I mean, that's S
S
tier for me.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
S tier.
Um, and then I mean, that's all I had on my list. Is there anything that I'm forgetting that's jumping out at you guys? Because I tried to get like broad things. You know what I mean? Like, because obviously I know that like every stadium probably has something that's like you know
Unique, yeah,
unique to it, but I was just trying to think of like anything that you could find in most stadiums or arenas. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, like if we're talking drinks, like beer is going to be S tier, S plus plus tier for all of us.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, a
um,
beer at the ballpark is obviously legendary. No need to even discuss it. S tier.
dude. I've
yeah,
I've never had a drink at a sporting event or anything like that.
Wow.
I've never been 21 since, because obviously COVID happened in 2020. Turned 21 in 21, and I've never been to a sporting event since then.
Gotta
yeah,
change that, man.
yeah. We got to
Yeah,
fix that. You do? Are you okay?
I mean, yeah, I think so.
You'll be even better after. Okay.
All right, boys. So as I preface this little tier list with, so you get one opportunity to go for the whole game. I want you to build a loadout with four things from the concession stand, and that includes a drink. Okay,
Yeah.
so I can go first. Give you boys a minute to think here. So for the drink, I'm gonna go an ice cold Pepsi Cola in a little blue cup with the bendy straw.
Yep.
Ooh, okay.
Like that's just gonna hit different. Um, for my side, we're gonna go with the soft pretzel with cheese. Um, the main course, the entree, if you will, is gonna be a tri-tip sandwich or B a Philly cheesesteak, depending where it's at. So those are,
Yep.
some places only have one or the other. So
Mm-hmm.
and then my dessert item is going to be Rabobank soft serve ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
that's
a
a good
great
one.
list, Chach. Question. Can I double down on any items?
Yeah, you can pick whatever four.
Oh,
It just
okay. Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
All right. I'm going two beers, a hot dog, ice cream sandwich. Okay.
dang,
And for you, all those at home, like, oh, you just want to drink when the ballpark? No, dude, it's 2 beers in 4 hours. Like, I think I'm gonna be okay. Like, not that big of a deal. The hot dog,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because you're gonna be hungry / excited when you first get there, and you're gonna try to save the ice cream salmon for as late as you can. And this is in a hypothetical world. It's not going to get melty.
Yeah, it's gonna be good the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also going to go for the 2 beer approach. I'm going to go 2 beers. I'm going to go soft pretzel with cheese, and then the soft serve from Rabobank.
Ooh,
No
yeah, yeah.
entree.
No, because that's the thing. I want to keep it light. Because like the food's good, but it's like the beer is like the important part. I would go 3, but I need the ice cream. You know what I mean? Because I
Oh
mean,
my
here's
god,
here's the
yeah.
thing: if you go to a stadium and you had to choose between like having some drinks or like eating like the whole entire time, like I mean, I don't know, I'd be feeling pretty thirsty. I think all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like I can kind of go without or just eat after, kind of thing. You know?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Most of the time, these things we go to, we always eat before or after or whatever.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's a little
Definitely.
different. So, some people go like for the tailgate and the whole deal. So, like, you have to eat there almost. But
yeah,
yeah, a lot of times we do eat before. So,
yeah.
but yeah, absolute banger, boys. Nothing is better than stadium food.
Oh, yeah. Um, Boys, we've kind of danced around the sports world a little bit, but we haven't talked about much in the world of sports, in particular today. And I wanted to change that right now, okay? Um, NFL just started up their OTAs. The teams are finally getting back together.
Yep.
Boys, we're gonna quickly run through each division, and I want you guys to tell me who's winning the division. Any other side notes you might want to add? Okay. Um, let's start with the NFC North. Obviously, you got Bears, Lions, Packers, or Vikings.
I'm taking the Lions.
Oh, they are a very hot pick right now.
I'm gonna say the
I mean,
Vikings.
yeah, I was gonna say the two picks are the Vikings or the Lions. I think. I mean, Green Bay, I think, is going to struggle, and we know what's kind of going on in Chicago. So
Yeah, I would probably have to go with the Lions as well. I think they're a very trendy pick right now. Kirk Cousins makes me nervous. Jordan Love makes me nervous, and I think Justin Fields will be a superstar, but they're just not giving him a lot of help there in Chicago, man.
It's true.
Um, any other notes for the NFC North, boys?
can we all make a pick for who's going to be at the bottom of the division for each division as we go through?
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
The Bears.
yeah, the Bears are at the bottom of that division for sure. I don't know what everyone sees in Justin Fields, but I'm having a hard time coming around on that one.
I'm going Packers.
Mm.
I
I'm
almost
going
wanted to say
Packers.
Packers too.
I'm going Packers to finish last. I just think they don't have a whole lot going on the offense and not knowing what Jordan Love is yet. If he has a great season, I could be completely wrong, but that's going to be my pick right now. Um,
Yeah,
Go ahead,
mind
Sean.
you. No, I was just gonna say the Bears didn't win a divisional game last season.
Right? Yeah.
Jeez.
All right, Shemag, this one's going to hit close to home for you. It's the NFC East. Giants, Eagles, Redskins, Cowboys.
Uh, Commanders, first of all, don't know what year you're living in.
Yes,
So
the
my
Commanders.
my bias pick is obviously Washington, right? I gotta have faith in the boys. Hey, Snyder, freaking hit the road, Jack. Don't freaking need you. So obviously my bias pick is Commanders. The Eagles are gonna win the division probably. I mean, they got better in the offseason and they were already a great team. Because they needed another good running back in Swift, so that's great. And they Georgia part 2 on that team. So I mean it's gotta be the Eagles, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
got to go with
mean,
the Eagles. Made the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
added more talent somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Picking last in the draft or second to last, whatever it is. So well, they
Yeah.
had a top 10 pick, but from I don't know who would be stupid enough to give the Eagles a top 10 pick. Must be a real idiot team. Anyways, moving on.
yeah, I mean,
TT,
the
what do you
Eagles were
think?
in the Yeah, Eagles were in the Super Bowl last year. They got better in the offseason, so I'm going with the Eagles to win the division.
Yeah.
Who are we thinking for the last place team, though?
I hope it's the Cowboys. I don't know if it will be, but I hope it's the Cowboys.
I think realistically the Giants finish last in that division. And
Yeah, I
that's
think
like not and that's being completely unbiased. Washington aside, I think the Giants finished last in that division.
the Giants will take a medium to large step back from what they were a year ago.
Yeah, I'm thinking either Commanders or Giants probably finished last Irishman.
It's fine.
Um, boys, moving on to the NFC South. Chach, your New Orleans
Charge.
Saints, Falcons, Bucks, and Panthers. What are we thinking?
This poor
I
division.
mean, it's our
Someone
division
has to
to
win this division.
yeah, I mean it's the Saints division to lose. Like the
Yeah.
Buccaneers have Baker and Kyle Trask playing for a quarterback spot. The Panthers are in shambles. They don't even have Chris McCaffrey to their name anymore. And we know what the Falcons have been, and we know what the Falcons will continue to be for the next God knows how long. So if the Saints don't win the division, I'm honestly not a fan anymore. So just
Oh, clip it and ship it.
Yeah, I would have to pick the Saints as well, but I'm gonna say watch out for the Falcons, man. They have a good little core going. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. I know Desmond Ritter might not be the long-term answer, but if he plays well this year, they could give you guys some trouble as well. But I would go with your Saints for now.
Yeah, I got the Saints winning that division. Um, I mean, they're the only team with a clear cut quarterback at this point. I mean, you would think that the Panthers would also have that, but we'll see. So I got the Saints on top of that division.
And what about for last, boys? I would probably go with the Bucks and Baker Mayfield. But what are you
yeah.
thinking?
Yeah, I think the Bucks are at the bottom, closely followed by the Panthers.
Yeah, it's either going to be the Bucks or the Panthers. I'd probably give the Bucks a slight lead, but it's really a losing race. So,
Yeah,
yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get out of Bryce Young yet, but could be huge, could be not good. Yeah, so I'm going to take the Bucks.
yeah.
All right, boys, staying in the NFC for the final division in the NFC. You got the NFC West, Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks, the Niners, and the Rams. Who's winning the division this year?
I think the Seahawks are winning the division.
Ooh, that's a bold pick, Chach.
Um, yeah, added JSN to their, Geno Smith really took a very large step forward last year. So I think he's really the going to be the deciding factor on this pick. I think I just don't know about the 49ers quarterback situation. I mean, you want to pick the
Yeah.
49ers, but just how many games can your defense win for you is the question. And so I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not huge on the 49ers, and I wasn't last year either. I mean, they obviously have a very, very good team, but I mean, they still have quarterback issues. I think the 49ers win the division, but I think it's close. I think it's very, very close. If
Yeah, it's
just
gonna
all
come
the other
down.
teams weren't so like mid in that division, like I would say it'd be closer. But I mean, I don't know. The Seahawks are definitely good, but
I want to go with the Seahawks. I really do. But it's between them and the Niners. The 49ers are interesting, man, because we saw what they did with Brock Purdy last year. But I mean, you're starting the season rolling out Sam Darnold. So it's like I don't know what they're gonna be. Um, an
yeah,
injury-prone team in the past, like can they do it again? It seems like when Brock Purdy came in, they were already riding a wave of momentum. So um, I'm gonna go with the Niners for now, but I could definitely see Seahawks as well. And I think everyone's predicting Cardinals to be probably the worst team in the division, maybe the worst team in the league. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean,
I
they're
would.
for sure going to be at the bottom of the
Yeah,
division.
yeah, I would say that's
Yeah.
accurate. And D Hop's gone. So.
All right, boys. We're moving on to what was just voted the toughest division in football. It's the AFC North. Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. Um, I think all four will be competitive this year. But who do you guys got winning the division?
I mean, I'll go ahead and
Um,
say it. I said it once, and I'll say it again.
Who's winning the
Pittsburgh.
division, Sean?
Pittsburgh is winning the division.
You think so? You don't have to say it just because you know that I'm riding with the Steelers.
Pittsburgh is winning the division this year.
yeah, I mean, I think the argument is either it's going to be Pittsburgh or Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a pretty known integer at this point. The Steelers had a hell of a draft, obviously a well coached team. yeah, it's really just what are they going to get out of their quarterbacks, man, is really what it comes down to. Kenny Pickett obviously looks like the future, but, I think that's going to be the last kind of question to be answered in Pittsburgh. But, I'll give the boys from the Berg the lean here. Um, so,
Yeah, I gotta go with the Steelers as well, but I'm not blind to the fact that all the other teams in the division are good. The Browns with Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson, that's a formidable duo right there. We know what Lamar Jackson can do. They added OBJ and Zay Flowers in the offseason, and the Bengals have been to the AFC Championship, 2 years in a row now.
Mhm.
So it's definitely a tough division. But I'm loving what we're doing. Like you guys mentioned, great draft. If Kenny Pickett takes a step forward this year, I think he has the supporting cast that we could pull out the division for sure. Um, all right, boys. Who's finishing last in the AFC North?
it's going to be Cleveland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's gonna be Cleveland.
just something about Cleveland you just don't trust, right?
A lot
Yeah,
of
I
things
mean,
about Cleveland I don't trust.
yeah, you take a struggling franchise, and then you drop a $250 million contract on it. So it's tough. It's tough, man. I get it. You got to have star players to be a good team, but it's just tough when you back yourself into a corner like this. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm going with the Browns as well. Boys, this is an interesting one. The AFC East: Bills, Pats, Jets, Dolphins.
I mean, the easy answer would be the Bills, but I think the Dolphins are going to win the AFC East.
Yep.
You know, retain Tua, Waddle. They still got Mike Gesicki, added Ramsey on the back end, Tyreek Hill. I mean, the list just goes on of talent. So, if Tua can stay healthy, I don't know exactly what he's going through, mental wise, health wise, or anything like that. So that's going to be the kind of last piece that falls into their little puzzle there. So, yeah, a bunch of Oregon boys in the secondary for the Dolphins there. Javon
Mhm.
Holland, Verone McKinley.
The
So yeah,
general.
I'm seeing the Dolphins taking the AFC East here, boys.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Dolphins win that division this year. I think it's close between the Bills and the Dolphins. I think it's only going to come down to a couple games probably. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins, man. Just something about it. They got a ton of weapons, and I mean, adding Ramsey, for a box of Cracker Jacks was a great steal in
Yeah,
the
what the hell
offseason.
was that, dude?
So yeah, man, I really like the Dolphins to win that division.
Yeah. A Rod obviously makes the division very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, he's getting into a young offense. Garrett Wilson could take a huge step forward this year. Brees
Mhm.
Hall coming back, they could be loaded. The Pats, I mean, you have Bill Belichick. You're going to be a stingy team pretty much no matter what.
Yeah.
But the Bills, I don't know. They just look so demoralized the end of the year last year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to agree with you, though. I think Miami Dolphins with that 1-2 punch of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle,
Yeah.
probably the best receiving core in the league.
Yeah. Fast.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are probably going to be at the bottom
Yeah,
of that
I
East.
agree with that.
It's probably going to be pretty close between them and the Jets. I don't think the Jets will have a crazy good year either. So I think it'll kind of be,
Yeah.
the Dolphins and the Bills at the top, and then the Jets and the Pats towards the bottom with similar records.
Yeah, I got to go with the Pats to finish last as well, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, boys, another kind of one of those someone's got to win the division. AFC South, Texans, Jags, Titans, Colts. Who's taking a step forward this year, you think? Who's winning the division?
I mean, I think by default, I think I go with Jacksonville, just based on the dumpster fire that those other three teams are.
Dude, and like the Jaguars are everybody's second favorite team.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, like they're in a relevant conference or division. And so like everyone just likes to root for them. They got Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, the whole squad. So yeah, and those other three teams could take a very, very fast turn to the bottom of the league very quickly. The Texans are interesting. They had a really high end draft, so that could come to fruition rather quickly. But that's probably going to take a little time. if
Yeah,
we
I
know
think you're
anything.
right.
Yeah, I gotta go with Jacksonville as well. If I had to give a number two, it's probably gonna be the Colts, man. You got Jonathan Taylor, you go get Anthony Richardson. That could be a pretty nice one-two punch, especially if they're able to get to kind of the ground and pound style that they're used to playing with Jonathan Taylor. But
Hmm.
for now, yeah, you gotta go Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, man. What they're doing is really impressive. Um, for my loser though, I gotta go with the Titans, man. I
Hmm.
just do not see this being a good year for them. And it sounds crazy to say with, Derrick Henry, but I just don't know how much he has around him.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think the Colts finished last, but I think it's going to be close.
Hmm.
Personally,
Yeah, I think Henry gets dealt to someone else before the year's over. That's kind
I
of what
would
it's seeming
agree.
like. If he's not even dealt before the season starts, we'll see.
yeah. I mean, there's
Um,
still time.
yeah, I was also going to say the Colts. It's probably a tie between the Colts and the Titans. Both they're just very unsure at quarterback. Titans took a quarterback last year. Ryan Tannehill's still on their team, and so it's like, what are we doing? And now you've drafted a
Yeah,
first round quarterback. Well, a first round and a second round first pick of the second round,
Yeah,
back to back years. So it's kind of confusing. So we'll see. Yeah, like I said, I
yeah.
think Henry's going to get dealt. So we'll take the Colts. But
Dude, I'm looking at the sked the final results for last season. The Texans at their home record for last season playing in Houston was 0-7-1. They didn't win a single home game last season.
not the biggest home field advantage, huh?
Nah, not even close. That's crazy.
Boys, our last division, the AFC West. Um, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. What are we thinking?
um,
Eh.
it's going to be the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win it. Always going to be the Chargers are lingering. Like 2 3 games behind them, but you can't just ever seem to get it done. And then someone will go to Arrowhead, shock them, and then everyone will say that the Chiefs have fallen off, and then we'll go through the same process all again where they make it to the Super Bowl, i.e., same thing happens over again. And so, yeah, I mean, you got to take the Chiefs at this point until further
Yeah,
notice.
I also agree. Looking at the record at home last season too, Josh 7-1-0, and then
Yeah.
7-2-0 on the road. So spot on. Yeah, I go the Chiefs. I mean, wish Jay Herbs and the boys all the best, but Chiefs.
Yeah, boys. So we're sweeping it for the Chiefs. Obviously, the most consistent team of probably the last 5 years. You got to pick them to win the division again. But any stock in the Denver Broncos, man? I mean, Sean Payton coming into town. We know what Russell Wilson's been in the past. Any chance for them?
I don't think they're last in the division.
Okay.
I don't think they're last. I think the Raiders come in last. But I think they're a little. I think the Broncos improve a little bit with Peyton at the helm, but not much. I mean, they only got to win more than 5 games. You know what I mean to beat last year. So
Yeah, I think this is Russell Wilson's last chance to do anything.
mhm,
He's, now being
I
coached
agree.
by one of the greatest offensive minds ever,
Yeah,
probably top
Yeah.
three at a minimum. And so, this is kind of put up or shut up time. Sign this massive deal. And so,
yeah,
did what he did last year, did high knees, all that stuff. And now, like, that,
yeah.
Uncle Sam wants his cut. And, if it's not this year, then it's going to be your ass next year. So,
True.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would probably go with the Raiders to finish last in this division.
Hmm.
I think Broncos are still just kind of mid, but man, Raiders with the loss of Derek Carr, you don't know what you really have at quarterback. There's talks about Jimmy G failing his physical. He might be on the way out. Don't know
Yeah,
how much validity there is to that, but just the uncertainty at quarterback, and you know, you don't know what you got there.
Yeah, and that kind of that all that cryptic stuff happened with Josh Jacobs towards the tail end of last year too, and so you just don't fully know what's going on there. Um, yeah, it's just kind of weird, man. It's just weird vibes around Vegas.
yeah.
All
I
right,
agree.
boys. Well, cool. So we got it on record now, but that really set us up for some freezing cold takes later on down the road. Because I'm gonna go back and revisit this episode and see what happens. Because I mean, I wouldn't have picked the Giants to make playoffs last year. You know what I
It's
mean? So
true.
one of these teams is gonna shock us. You know what I mean? So I think we kind of set ourselves up here, but it's been fun.
Absolutely.
Trying to see if there's anything popping off right now, as we always do.
Oh, I did see something today, and I don't know if this is old news or not. Ex Oregon wide receiver Micah Pittman played
Uh,
for the boys a couple years ago, then transferred to Florida State. Spent one season at Florida State, and he has committed to the University of Utah.
Really?
Micah Pittman playing for Utah
Wow.
back in the Pac-12. So, yep. I felt a certain way when he left, and I feel a certain way now. But we'll see how that goes later on in the season. But
Dude, those always sting, but I don't think it's gonna sting as much as the Travis Dye, man. Like that
mm-hmm.
one just hurt different, you know?
Yeah, especially the SC man. Yeah,
yeah, you always wonder because like they're from I think Norco or something like that. The Die Boys are from, but you always just wonder, if like that was in the back of their mind in recruitment, like oh, I could go to USC, and be the quintessential California kid that went to Southern Cal and all that stuff, and so
yeah,
Hmm.
I'm sure it weighs on them. And I think Travis Dye was a little frustrated with where the offense was at, and then
yeah,
script flips and Oregon's an offensive threat the following year. But yeah, Travis Dye's a rough one, man.
yeah.
Definitely.
That was my bit of news for today. So there you go.
Ooh. Um, Oregon baseball won the Pac-12 as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so I saw on Twitter that was going on because Twitter does all kinds of weird stuff about like recommended because you follow this or what the hell ever, and so I was like, oh, they're playing right now, so I watched. It was entertaining. You got college softball, college baseball, all on at once. So a lot of sports flying around, boys. People think it's the off season, but it couldn't be us thinking it's the off season.
Yeah, dude, I've actually been watching a little bit of golf. Like I told you, I got one set of clubs, and so I'm like all inspired now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even the cool part about golf is it's just on when you wake up in like on the weekends.
Right.
Like they're already going full force. So it's just
Yeah,
something cool to watch when you're like having your cup of coffee, getting your day going. You're like, one day, one day.
that'll be me. I'll be out there.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, boys, that we'd like to chat with the people about?
Man, I think that about wraps it up for what I have for the day.
Yeah. I think I'm good there.
Yeah. For everyone who's made it this far, we'll give you a quick little sneak peek. The next 2 episodes that you guys watch are gonna have guests on them. And
Hmm.
a little canary told me that one might even be an all live in person episode from the boys. So I don't know, just something I heard. Just keep an eye out. Keep an eye on socials. Keep plugged in because you never know. You might miss something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm so
And
excited for that. I'm so excited for the next two episodes just because both guests are just going to be like awesome episodes, man. I can't wait for that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's gonna be just long epies, just bangers. You're gonna have to grind them out, listeners. Okay, whether you like it or not, it's gonna be a mouthful. But that is effectively gonna do it for episode 26 of the Keep It Down podcast. Boys, say something to people, huh?
Yeah, man, as always, thanks for sticking with us, man. And yeah, super excited for the next couple of episodes, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Yeah,
Yeah, we got some heaters coming up for you guys. So thank you for listening. And you know what, guys? Anyone still listening to this? Anyone that's made it this far? We'll put out an Instagram post or find us on Twitter at Keep It Down Pod. What is your MLB walk up song? I want to know. I want to know if we missed any. I want to know. Hit me. Okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back and review this next podcast or something. So, yeah, people, thanks for listening. And as always, be good people out there. Peace.